All right, welcome back. It's 15 minutes before 8 o'clock. So today is the official opening of the Council of Ministers meeting, which happens ahead of the 37th SADC meeting. Leanne is there for us in Pretoria, and she has all the details. It's a very good morning to you, Lee.
Palesa, very, very good morning to you, and good morning to the rest of South Africa and Africa that are tuned in for this very special broadcast. We're coming to you live from the Department of International Relations and Cooperation's headquarters in Pretoria, and a beautiful building, the OR Tambo building. We've done many broadcasts from here before that mark special occasions, but today is perhaps one of the most special occasions for South Africa as we welcome our guests from the SADC region that are going to be participating in the 37th Ordinary SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government. So there's quite a big program in store. In fact, it has already started, but this program is going to continue until the end of the weekend, until next week. So just to talk a little bit more about what's happening, the country's hosting the SADC Heads of State and Government from the 19th to the 20th. That's when all of the heads of state from the SADC regions will be here in Pretoria, and there's a theme for this year, a very important theme that we're going to be discussing with a variety of guests that are going to join us here on the podium. That theme is partnering with the private sector in developing industry and regional value chains. Now, just to tell you a little bit about what we are doing here, this isn't the Heads of State Summit as yet. That is only happening from the 19th to the 20th. But just before what is happening today, we saw the senior officials meeting taking place. That was from the 11th to the 14th of August, and then today is the ministerial meeting. So we are here to witness this occasion and are joined by different ministers from the different SADC regions that are representing their different portfolios here in South Africa. Now, with me, of course, is always a pleasure to have as a guest on the program, and the honor, I suppose, to be hosting the region here in South Africa. And their host for this particular gathering is our Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, and that's Maite Nokwana Mashabane. Always good to see you, Minister. Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, Leanne.
All right, now we've also got with us, and we are truly honored to have His Royal Highness, the Prince Hlagesimpe. He is the Minister of Economic Planning and Development, and that's from the Kingdom of Swaziland. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you so
now,
much.
what's quite interesting, and South Africans may or may not know this, but the big story here behind what's happening at the summit is that South Africa is going to be taking over the role of chair from Swaziland. So South Africa will be chairing the SADC while Swaziland had done it for this last previous year. So that's something we will focus on as well. But first, before we get into the discussion, Minister, it's a big moment for South Africa once again to be hosting something like this and taking over the chairmanship. What are your words at this point?
Well, good morning, Leanne, to our viewers at home, Excellencies, ministers, honorable ministers, and the Deputy Prime Minister of Namibia, and ambassadors and all the excellencies present here representing 15 countries in this year where we are accompanying our heads of states to the 37th Ordinary Summit of SADC. SADC is about peace, security, and development. It was at our mission the sub-summit in Harare that His Excellency President Mugabe made a special session of Heads of States Summit to focus on industrialization of our region so that we do not remain the raw exporters, and receive finished products from somewhere. We are a very unique region, SADC, continent of Africa, where we live in a very rich, minerally endowed region with the poorest people, because we even import food products. So we wanted to turn that corner. Hence, you said earlier on, from that moment onwards, we said we will focus on beneficiation in each of our countries, on integration of our economies, on skilling adequately our youthful population, make sure that our people practice climate-smart agriculture, but to do away with the climate footprints, those that are interested in the mineral endowment we have can do better by beneficiating those here. And that's why we're talking about beneficiation and industrialization. But above all, we also realized through Botswana, at the summit in Botswana and Swaziland, that there's no completion of the beneficiation if we don't look at all the value chains and the strengths we have in each other's country and get that together. And integration of our own people to have real free movement of people and services amongst our region. Today, it's a very special day for us, as South Africans, because we are also celebrating this month, as SADC also, the African Month, Women's Month. It is also the month or the year in which we are celebrating the centenary, the whole country, of Oliver Reginald Tambo, whose name this building resonates. Oliver Tambo Building, the foremost diplomat who would have turned 100 years old if he was alive. And I'm sure he would be proud of what he would be seeing happening here. Diplomat number one, Oliver Reginald Tambo, and headquarters of South Africa's International Relations and Cooperation in South Africa, in Pretoria, in O.R. Tambo's building. But we are one. We speak, all of us, as a family, like we did in the past when many of our countries were referred to as the frontline states, when we were still under apartheid. Frontline states, states that defended freedom of our people and now focusing on peace and sustenance thereof, security and development. So where there are hindrances here and there of issues that still has to undermine peace here and there, we quickly move in as a collective to deal with those. But we are indeed, have been hard at work. Our officials have been here from the 9th. Our leaders, the main summit of the leaders would take place on the 18th and 19th. For the next coming 3 days, starting from yesterday, ministers have polished all that which needed to be looked at in detail on the outcomes of our summit.
And I know that there is so much to discuss, which we're going to get into, because we are going to be coming to you live from here in the next hour. So we'll get into the nitty-gritty of what is expected to come out of some of the discussion points. And I know industrialization is one of the major issues that is wanting and hoping to be tackled here in different sectors, from food to pharmacy to minerals, you name it. But I want to talk on Swaziland's perspective, because obviously you were chairing it for the past year, handing over the reins to South Africa. What has it been like for you to be the chair?
Well, thank you so much, and good morning, everybody. But first and foremost, let me congratulate my sister for taking the hot seat. It's a very challenging seat, but with the support of the SADC team, we were able to fulfill our duty as the chair of the Council of Ministers. Yes, we've been working very, very hard with the ministers. So many things have been happening. His Majesty King Mswati III gave us a theme on resource mobilization. So we had time to sit down to figure out what is it that we can do to find some resources to work on the issues of SADC, especially covering the energy. We also had some industrialization project where we launched it sometime in 2016, where we are saying as SADC or as governments, it's important that we involve the private sector, because this is where everything is taking place. So without the private sector, we are nothing. So when we come together and shape the destiny of our region, then we know that we have a future. So we believe that through that, again, we need peace and security. So without peace and security, we cannot develop as a country. So again, we want to commend the Kingdom of Lesotho for the elections that has taken place. And we pray and hope that as much as it was fragile, but we are looking forward as SADC to make sure that everything goes accordingly, and hope the recommendations made by SADC will be followed so that everything comes to peace. But otherwise, we've been working, it's been wonderful, it's been hard, but through working together, we are able to come and present it to South Africa in the hope that the debate will be taken again to the next country.
Indeed it will, and also just as a closing note, because I know we're not going to be speaking to you again, but the King of Swaziland, King Mswati III, expected in South Africa as well, and he'll be delivering the SADC Day message, if I'm not mistaken. Any news on the kind of message that he wants to convey from Swaziland to the rest of SADC?
Well, I think the news, I cannot be in his heart to find out exactly what is it. But he's a man of peace. He always asks for nothing except peace. He always asks for dialogue, for anything. So again, I think it's a matter of pushing the agenda that he set when he was chairman to urge and then the Republic of South Africa to push that agenda, especially because he has also recommended the University of Transformation, because we feel there is a need to focus on our children, especially those who didn't do well in schools, because you find that those children are scattered there, and then the thugs and all types of people then takes advantage. So he introduced the type of a university that will focus on TVET. So we hope and then pray that that message will also be sent so that it can be pushed, and then we can enjoy the pleasure of everybody in the region, regardless of how much you have educated in your lifetime.
Thank you so much for being with us here today, for talking to us as well. His Royal Highness of Swaziland, from the Kingdom of Swaziland, Prince Hlangwesimpe, talking to us in his capacity as the Minister of Economic Planning and Development. We're going to take a break here on the program, bring you the news at 8, and we'll continue this discussion from the 37th Ordinary Session of the SADC Community. Stay tuned.